Okay, Puneet, nice to meet you again. When actually was the last time you came to Paris?
Oh, I came to Paris already last year
Okay.
because my job of meeting our investors takes me to different parts of the world, people who invest in our stocks, and we have a few from Paris as well.
So you come regularly, but do you see any changes from the time you've been there
Yes.
as an operation?
Yes.
In terms of the spirit?
Firstly, places like Paris are leaders in the world. They keep changing. Always in good spirits.
Yeah.
Always. It depends when you meet. You meet during the day, or you meet at the glass of champagne, or you meet it with some nice French wine. I think it's the same.
Yeah. You left the industry, I would say more or less in Europe about 7 years ago.
Yes.
You still have a lot of contacts with the people you met here?
Absolutely. I built relationships forever, not related to my job. As you know yourself, whether you were MKG and you left and you came back, the relationship goes on. I'm not so much into networking, but building genuine, lasting friendships, bonds, relationship, whatever you want to call it. That's been something which is within me since I was a child.
Going back to in 2017 when you were asked to be a CEO of Indian Hotel, did it come as a surprise that you were asked?
Actually not. This offer was made for the second time.
Okay.
And this time I could not resist to go back.
Why did you refuse the first time?
I was new in my job before that. I'd hardly spent 1 year. I was the CEO of Deutsche Hospitality.
Okay.
And
You thought it was too soon?
one is it's too soon. Second, again, when you build relationships, you cannot let down people who gave you a chance to be the CEO the first time. I had a mission to fulfill. Once I fulfilled that, I'd spent exactly 5 years on the date. Started 1st of November 2012, finished 31st of October 2017. And I think that was a very good innings, and it was time to do something different.
Like, do you mean during your, I would say your European period, you were still in contact with officials in India or executives in India? You didn't?
Not from the Tata Group or from Indian Hotels, not at all. Actually,
Why do you think they approached you?
maybe I was the only, as I can only say what I was told. I was told that I'm the only candidate from the outside that was being considered. And if I would ever be in Mumbai, I should let them know. And I happened to be in Delhi when I was asked this question. So I flew to Mumbai for a day and I met the great Tata Group chairman. And he's also the recipient of Légion d'honneur and very popular in France. With the opening, he used to run before also Tata Consultancy Services, which has opened a big tower in La Défense. So I think all in all, everything just, fell in place.
You felt like proud, surprised by the fact that they asked you to come and to manage the first group in India and maybe in Southeast?
Not really. Now I feel proud. Not at that moment. I thought for a person of Indian origin to be global head of development for Radisson or CEO of a German hotel company was a bigger accomplishment. And at my time, there was nobody else who had ever achieved it. I don't think even now anybody has been CEO.
No, you see a lot of Indian people for Indian origin in the tech industry or the tech responsibility.
But not in hospitality. I doubt if there has been a CEO. There may be a regional head, a regional president or something like this. But I have to say, after going back to India, I realized that when you serve the Taj, which is our main brand, you serve the nation. And
because it's so iconic for the country.
It's iconic. It's the core values of Tata Group. It's the core values of Taj. The whole thing around community, making a difference in people's lives, livelihoods, creating jobs, providing service. It's a more holistic way of life than just a P&L or balance sheet.
But when you arrived in Mumbai, at the headquarters, which is I think in Mumbai, would you consider as an Indian coming back home or like an Indian foreigner because you have this European background? Were you accepted by the team?
Bruno, you raise a very interesting question. I think maybe for a long time in history, it will be that when I was at Deutsche Hospitality, I was considered the Indian working for Deutsche Hospitality. And when I went back to India, everybody thought it's a German working for Indian hotels. So quite a strange coincidence. So I think having the combination of this two maybe is a very unique combination that will stay on for a long, long time.
Did you have to justify yourself among the team?
Not really. I never left my bonds, my relationships. I was very attached to my friends from my childhood, college. And my mother was not well, so I went. That was one third of the reason, one of the three reasons I went. And unfortunately, 2020 she passed away, but fortunately I still got 2.5 years to be with her, a little over 2.5 years, and look after her. That's what Indian boys are supposed to do for their parents, and I'm glad I had that opportunity.
So going back to the business, you sat in your chair as CEO of Taj Group. What was the first surprise, as I say, or maybe challenge that you met?
Not a challenge. The moment I sat, I realized, my God, this is a huge opportunity. And I did not understand why nobody really, capitalized on it before. And
it was like a sleeping princess, you think?
I would say sleeping beauty, not a princess or a prince or a king. We leave the gender aside. So I think it was just those iconic hotels, that very special style of hospitality, the palaces, the safaris, the beautiful resorts, the whole culture which we call Tajness, I think was very, very special. And then we started working on a plan which we called Aspiration 2022.
But as you said, you mentioned this morning, so when you arrived, the situation was not that good.
It was a loss-making company for almost 10 years.
Why was that? Because people just rely on these?
No, I think we got hit by the global financial crisis. We got hit by the terror attack which happened on the Taj. The demand was lagging supply. A lot of supply got built or was in the process of getting built between 2007 and 10 without knowing that such a crisis would come. So when the supply is higher than demand, then there is pressure on rates. So I think a lot of macroeconomic challenges, but also the direction was maybe not very clear. Multi-brand or just Taj brand, how to stop, how to start. But I was maybe very blessed to have been in similar situations before.
Yeah. I mean, you brought your experience from Radisson and from Deutsche Hospitality.
From Deutsche Hospitality. So many things came to me very automatic. I would actually give a lot of credit to a couple of people. I mean, there's lots of people who shape you and help you. But just before this job, I had the opportunity to work with the shareholder of Deutsche Hospitality from Egyptian origin. I think he's a great businessman. But more importantly, working alongside also Kurt Ritter, the legendary hotelier, and we had done so much together, and you don't realize you learned passively. He never taught me, like, okay, now sit down, I'll teach you something. But by just being with him for 10 years, and the Carlson, the family, the values of the family, all that put together with my Indian upbringing, I think it worked very well. Maybe it was destined to be that way. Maybe that's why I had all these stations.
So building a plan, was it easy, or then again you have to work with the team to convince them of your solution?
I did not have to convince them, because I think the only way was up. People were a bit demoralized and a little bit of resignation. So instead of having just the top management, the 8-10 people, I increased the group to top 35. And this whole culture of inclusion created new ambassadors, and each of them influenced a further 20-30 people. And then the change became a transformation story.
Was it easy to get on with the process, or do you have to step by step?
Everything in life has to be step by step. Radical changes in a legacy company. We are the oldest operating company of Tata Group. We are in operations for 121 years. So you can't make radical changes. You have to go for small wins, low-hanging fruits, get the belief, inculcate in yourself and in others, what all is doable and is possible, and then lead by example, and the rest then becomes history.
Then again, as a conclusion of your presentation this morning, you refer to the founder of Taj with his catchphrases. Do you have to get inspired by that? And really, was
I did.
Sentence that you put on the wall. There was some inspiration there.
You know, the majority of my professional career, almost 3 decades, was in Europe.
Yeah.
In Europe, we are very blessed to have that lives and livelihoods are protected by the government, and our society and the culture is taken care of from the insurance that the government provides. But in India, lives and livelihoods are provided by some special people and entrepreneurs and organizations. And I think Tata's is the number one in it. And as bad as COVID was, my learning during COVID was the highest because we did not lay off any employees. We paid full salaries to people. And beyond that, we provided 6 million meals to frontline workers. We hosted 125,000 bed nights in our hotels because people could not go home. So I think, and when we started doing it, a lot of other hotel companies followed. So that's why I said, lead by example, others follow. And then we were able to do that good. And the kind of respect I got during that period is unparalleled. You never get it by signing 10 hotels or, increasing profit by 20%, 25%, where people really are grateful for having helped them out in a very hopeless situation.
So far, you presented results that are pretty brilliant after 7 years in operation. This is the first step. You also presented what you call the plan Accelerate 2030. So that's the next step. You will build on the results that you achieved already.
We have to. The team is charged. Actually, I had to.
The ground is good.
Yeah, the ground is good. I had to put some brakes on it. Otherwise, when we said we'll do Aspiration 2022, not many believed in it. Maybe 1 or 2 people of the 35 I spoke. Today, 35 became 50 because of the growth in the company. And all 50 are far more, pushing, they're far more bullish on what can be done. So I had to put their enthusiasm, life doesn't go up in a straight line. There will be some bumps, some headwinds. So let's stay with our feet on the ground.
And you said although the future of the Indian market is brighter than used to be?
Much brighter. Unbelievable. India is the 5th largest economy. It will be the 4th largest next year. All people say that, all the pundits or IMFs or the economic institutes, they say that by 2027 it should be the 3rd largest economy of the world, which means more disposable income. India has the demographic dividend, a lot of young people. So all in all, the going for India is good. There is political stability. We have a very good leadership at the center level. Most of the states have very good leadership too. So I think in all the signs are very, very positive.
So you say you will base your business and your development first in India and the Indian region, and going internationally will be like a side development? Or?
See, international, we are very clear. We will only grow with Taj. We will not grow other brands. I don't believe in the capability of our company or many other companies to become international just because we are very successful in India.
Chinese group, they wanted to export some of the brand and didn't really work.
It doesn't work. So I think every country has something to offer, and within a region it can work. So for us, Indian subcontinent works. Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Bangladesh, all this can work. Similarly, like it works in France, Belgium, Germany, Spain, Italy, all within that area, it could work well. India is a large country. So in such a large country, there's nothing like, there's so much of diversity that if we can make it in India, it's already great. The happening place is India. But Taj being the crown jewel of both Indian hotels and of Tata Group, I think there we have the obligation to keep it growing in key gateway markets, and I'm counting on you to help us get a hotel in Paris.
Yes, well, there might be opportunities where the government is selling some of its own properties. So former ministries are sometimes available. Some turn into into hotels. The peninsula was used as a government facility in the time, so why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Which city apart from Paris do you think you need to have a Taj hotel in Europe or in mainly key cities?
I think we could do a few more in the UK because of the strength of Indian diaspora and the strength of the brand. We could do Amsterdam.
I'm familiar with Amsterdam.
I am very familiar with Amsterdam too. So I think there is a need also. Otherwise, in Eastern Europe, I would say Prague or Vienna to get as a gateway to the former Eastern Europe. Munich, Zurich. Switzerland is very important for India. So I think we would really focus on getting a hotel in Switzerland because most of the Indians who have grown up with Bollywood have seen Switzerland in the Bollywood movies, right? In good and in bad times. So I think Switzerland is a very important partner for.
So we can expect you to come back regularly to Europe and to.
You keep calling me, I'll keep coming back.
Okay. Are you pretty excited about the years to come? We said the world is in so much.
No. Everything is fine and everything will be all right. We are in a very positive spirit, especially with what's happening in India. I'm very confident.
Even though the climate change, the social disruption that.
It's not the first time anything is changing. Change is the only constant in our lives. And nothing changes if nothing changes. So I think.
Are you equipped? Are you organized to face these challenges, these moving parts all the time?
Yeah, there it helps to be part of one of the largest conglomerate in the world. So if you are a part of Tata Group, then you are very well equipped with the other benefits the entire group brings for the group companies.
Yeah, anticipation and forecast and everything. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For this time, and I hope to see you again regularly and at least this evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Bruno. Thank you for having me.